My name is David Wirtes. I'm from Fairhope, Alabama. Growing up, I had very little knowledge of our heritage. The story in the family was that we were from the royal winemaking family from King Ferdinand of Austria, whatever that was. My great-grandfather, whose name was Stefan Wirtes, started in the mines near Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, and eventually opened a dairy farm in Tuckahoe, New York. And here is Stefan, photograph of him from when he ran the brickyard in Danbury, Connecticut. So in 2006, my son and I made a trip here to Slovakia with a guide, Father George Semevan, on the little information we had, which was the suspicion that our family had originated from Vinné, Slovakia, based on some research I had been able to find on the internet. And as we were leaving that day, Joey noticed out the window a monument at the church addressed by Stefan Wirtes, which seemed awfully unusual and perhaps familiar. And that led us to do some in-depth research. And we reached out to Rudo Pavlovich here in Prešov, Slovakia. And Rudo is a gracious gentleman who spent hours and hours and hours over the past 20 years researching our family and has proven conclusively this story we're about to tell.
At the beginning, we had the information that the four Wirtes brothers, Stefan, Michal, Matej and Jan, emigrated from Austria-Hungary to the United States. I examined the Roman Catholic registers of the town Vinné, where I found their birth records, and I was able to confirm that these people really originated from Vinné. Based on the historical records, I created a family tree consisting of 588 people connected to the Wirtes family. We found 8 generations, including the families living presently in the United States and Slovakia. The oldest ancestor we were able to find was Andrej Wirtes, born around 1775. Another task was to locate the family house of the Wirtes ancestors. I found out that in 1944, during the World War II, Germans burned the village down and the house was not preserved. I didn't give up and I tried to locate at least the property where the Wirtes family lived. I searched for the historical land records and combined them with the historical and present maps. This is how I was able to identify the present owners, who turned out to be the descendants of the Slovak line of the Wirtes family. Vinné is a town with more than 2,000 people. It is known from 1249 and it is located under the Vyhorad hills next to the Zemplínska Širava water reservoir and Vinné lake. For centuries, the town has been protected by the Vinné castle. In the heart of the town, there is a church of St. Anna from the late 13th century and the manor house built by the Dravecký family in the 17th century. Welcome to Vinné. This is the place from where Stefan Wirtes and his brothers, on the break of 19th and 20th century, set for the journey to the United States that changed their lives forever. Stefan Wirtes had a sister Anna that remained in Slovakia. We are meeting her descendants, Jaro Mudroň, and his parents that are still living at the old Wirtes property. The first time we got in touch with David was sometime before the COVID. I was sending to him the old family pictures. Anna Wirtes was married to Jan Boboš, who was from another village, Zalužice. They had the son Juraj, my grandfather, who was born in 1909. I know that the first one from the family that went to the United States was Stefan Wirtes. His example was followed by many other family members. Here in Vinne, winemaking has deep and rich roots. Almost everyone was making their own wine and had a cellar under the house. We used to have the 3 vineyards on the nearby hills. The land was inherited from generation to generation.
Fast forward now to 2025, and we've returned with a great deal more knowledge, with the hopes of actually meeting cousins who were related to us by DNA from that generation that left back in the 1860s and 1870s. And again, with Rudo's assistance and with Michael Razu's assistance and interpretive skills, we just met Jaroslav Muldran and his family in Vinne, and Jerry, who is my 4th cousin removed, is living on the same parcel of property as the Wirtes family did back in the 1830s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. It's been passed down through the family.
The Germans announced in the evening that they will burn down the town the next day. People had only one night to pack everything and leave. They found out a temporary shelter in the shacks up in the vineyards, from where they were watching how their houses are burning. The only memory of the old house is the roof on the barn that was built in 1947, and they used the sheet metal from the old house that survived the fire. My grandmother, Anna Wirtes, died when I was just 2 months old, in October 1941. She is buried here in Vinne, and I will show you her grave. Since there are some more recent family members in this grave, she is recorded only as Babička, the grandmother.
Here we are, these Americans who are kind of just, stumbling around. I was just really taken aback by, the kindness and generosity and how, it seemed like, what were strangers, in a couple of minutes, it was like we were close friends and family, and just really remarkable. I think the Slovak culture in that way, and it's just been terrific. I can't speak highly enough about how enjoyable it's been.
So Joey and I were fortunate enough to literally walk the same ground that our relatives planted and tended to and harvested fruit and vegetables from 150 years ago. It was a very meaningful trip. 20 years ago, we knew nothing. Today, with the help of our friends, we've learned a great deal more, and we're going home with certain information, establishing our roots right here. When we first arrived in Vinne at the Catholic Church in 2006, and I got out of the back seat of Father Semovan's car, it struck me in a way that took me back 40 years to growing up as a little boy in Danbury, Connecticut. The smells were the same, the construction of the sheds was the same, the presence of the grape arbors was the same. I knew instantly that this had to be where my family was from. There was just too much that was in common. It was an out-of-body experience, but it proved to me, and now we've confirmed, that this is where we were from. And I hope everyone gets to have that same sort of experience. It's a meaningful experience.